I used to believe that the smartest people always made the best decisions. But then, why are there doctors who smoke? Successful entrepreneurs who lose everything? Psychologists trapped in toxic relationships? Brilliant investors who buy high and sell low? It didn't make sense. If intelligence were enough, none of these things should happen. Maybe you're thinking the problem is discipline, or bad habits, or emotional struggles. And sure, all of those matter, but what if there's an even deeper explanation? It all started with a simple observation. Some completely ordinary people, without exceptional intelligence, consistently make better decisions. So, what do they have that highly intelligent people sometimes don't? Is it luck? Instinct? Experience? Imagine two people. Same job, same salary, same layoff. One thinks, my life is falling apart. The other thinks, maybe this is exactly what I needed. The reality was identical, so why are their lives likely to look completely different 1 year from now? The answer isn't simply optimism, it's something much deeper. Because between what happens and the decision we make, there is always something in between. Imagine your parents taught you from childhood that making mistakes is simply part of learning. When you fail as an adult, you're less likely to see that failure as the end of the world. But someone else, with a completely different story, might experience that exact same failure as proof that they'll never be good enough. The event never changed, only the way it was interpreted. Let's look at an even simpler example. You text someone. Hours go by. No reply. Without realizing it, your mind starts writing a story. They don't care about me anymore. They're probably just busy. They're upset with me. What's interesting is, the fact never changed, only the story did. And yet, that story changes how you feel, how you respond, and often, how the relationship ends. Do you see the pattern? We don't simply react to reality. We react to the meaning we give to reality. There's something standing between what happens and the decisions we make. And that invisible filter can completely change our future. So, is the secret simply to think differently? Not exactly, because a different perspective isn't always a better one. What's truly important is staying open enough to question your own. And here's where things get interesting. Highly intelligent people are incredibly good at building explanations. Most of the time, that's a huge advantage, but it can also become a trap, because a brilliant mind can build equally brilliant arguments to defend the wrong idea. Maybe intelligence was never the problem. The real problem begins when we stop questioning our own interpretation. Intelligence without openness can become a sophisticated maze. And today, this matters more than ever. We're dealing with problems our parents never had. Doom scrolling, anxiety, social media, more complex relationships, information overload. We have access to more answers than any generation before us, but not necessarily to better perspectives. Too often, we search for solutions in the wrong places. We adopt someone else's methods, someone else's beliefs, or advice that worked for them but doesn't fit our own reality. So, what can we actually do? Maybe we'll never eliminate all our biases or stop seeing the world through our own experiences. But we can do one thing: seek perspectives that challenge our own, question our certainties, learn from people who've walked similar paths. Because the goal isn't to think exactly like someone else. The goal is to expand the way we understand our own problems. Some of history's greatest psychologists dedicated their lives to understanding how we think. And in one way or another, they all arrived at a similar conclusion. The human mind is an extraordinary tool, but it can also build the most sophisticated prisons. Maybe, intellectual humility isn't about thinking less. It's about accepting that there's always a perspective you haven't considered yet, And many times, the solution wasn't becoming smarter. It was learning to look at the exact same problem from a different perspective.